New restrictions, winter weather, and the ongoing uncertainty of the pandemic, businesses really have a lot to juggle.
Yes, so many adjustments they constantly have to make. And tonight, our Fox 12's Audrey Wheel checked out a few restaurants to see how they're adjusting.
It's clear places are looking at ways to adapt both short-term and long-term, investing in things like heaters and tents that can attract customers outside in these cold and rainy days ahead, but then also thinking about what can sustain them if this 2-week pause isn't enough and there are more restrictions down the road.
We didn't want to enclose it fully because we want it to allow for plenty of ventilation.
This is the new setup at Cafe Mingo, with a roof and heaters. Quite a few changes since we were last here in September.
We're just trying to adapt as and roll with the punches as they come along.
General Manager Brett West says they're small enough to not have to adjust much with the current 2-week pause. But he worries that the rate Oregon's COVID-19 cases are increasing, more restrictions could eventually follow.
I'm going to be kind of surprised if we don't enter some sort of lockdown at some point again this winter.
He says that's part of the reason they have the Mercado too, offering takeout and potentially things like meal kits if need be.
We wanted to have at least one of these businesses be sort of pandemic proof, trying to cover all the bases with what we've got so that regardless of what happens, we can continue to do something.
At Mississippi Pizza, Joanna McCrae says they're thinking long-term too. It's why in addition to their new tent and heaters on the way, they invested in a brand new online ordering system starting this week, something they've never offered before in about 20 years of business.
Just found that we couldn't keep up with the phones. They were just off the hook, just ringing over and over.
Since the pandemic, she says about 90% of their orders have been takeout and they started doing home delivery.
We all decided that this was a much better investment than some other options because people are going to want more and more delivery. They're going to want to come out less and less, especially as the weather turns and then with the slowdown.
Both businesses telling us they're grateful to be open and keep serving customers as best they can. And as a reminder, PBOT now has a winter Healthy Businesses Permit program that allows for things like sidewalk cafes through the end of March. In Northwest Portland, Audrey Wheel, Fox 12 Oregon.